Screen capture. 1 second. I haven't posted in the groups. 1 second. Mainstream. Chalo guys, we are live. Hi and all. Hi Aditya. What's up guys? क्या हालचाल?
Hello.
Hello.
So पहले तो guys confirm in the comments. Hi Abhinav, क्या हालचाल? Thanks man. Thanks for being the early bird. Can you confirm if the audio is like clear? तीनों का सब एक बार here बोलो. क्या बोलते हैं? Like present बोल दो whatever.
वो क्या इसमें क्या बोलते थे वाला मलबुलिस
मेरी मछली आई क्या?
वो मैं मस्त तेल में फ्राई करके खा गया.
Okay, I think आ ही रही है. 1 second. I'll quickly check. लोग नहीं आ रहे तो हम like ठीक है अपन अपने में ही कर लेंगे यार क्या लोगों पे. Okay.
ठीक है किसी चीज की अगर बुराई करते तो ऐसा कम लोगों में करे तो अच्छा ही रहता.
हाँ तो
it's 21 people now.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. So let's do this, guys. मेरे को इतना कुछ बोलना है कि वो just करो. It's not even funny and काफी rants आएंगे आज. काफी rants आएंगे. कोई चालू करना चाहता है जिसके पास कोई rant नहीं. On a good note, like any one of you, like do you have like what good memories do you have of Game of Thrones, especially like जब start हुआ था?
I'll start. So good memories में एक ये है कि Game of Thrones जो है इंडिया टाइम के हिसाब से it was I think 6 AM or 7 AM जब stream होता था. And after the episode finishes streaming, which is like an hour, it would become available at around 8 PM. 8 AM, sorry. And उसके बाद immediately US में 10:30 PM was Silicon Valley. And at that time मैं दोनों follow करता था. तो जैसे 8 AM एक अवेलेबल हुआ, दूसरा 9 AM को अवेलेबल हुआ, तो फिर दोनों लगाए डाउनलोड पे, फिर दोनों देखे. तो दैट वाज अ फन टाइम. लाइक दिस वाज आई जस्ट स्टार्टेड कॉलेज, so 2016 का है.
When did you start it? 2000?
I watched it in June 2016. ऐसे ही मतलब एक दिन रैंडमली देखा चलो देखते हैं क्या होता है. Then I finished it in like 2 days because that's how it was.
Aditya, what about you?
Yeah, I have a very weird relationship with Game of Thrones because I got recommended the show way back when. I think what year did the show start in? Like I think 2011
2010 या
11-12.
Yeah, around that. So my cousin used to had just started watching Game of Thrones randomly, and at that time it was I think halfway through only season 1. Okay, like nobody had even heard about it. And he was like, dude, this show is crazy today. And then I saw, and I was in 11th grade, I think, at that time, and I was like, yeah. And I left it, okay. And then by the time I got to college in 2013, everybody in the world was watching it, and I was just damn dismissive. I was like, yeah, I've seen it, bullshit, And I didn't get into the. I thought it was very contrived in the first few episodes. Like, मुझे बहुत like fake लग रहा था. मतलब I wasn't buying into anything. So
when did you start buying season 1 episode 9?
उसके 8 साल बाद, ठीक है. तो मैंने 2018 में my girlfriend used to follow the show. She was watching season 7, okay, and I liked a couple of scenes, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out because I had seen the first season. I think मैंने देख ही लिया था 2013 or something, and that's when I started getting really into the show, and then I got very involved. And then I watched it, and then then उसके बाद जो heartbreaks were not because of the show, but because of how the show was made, which is what we're here to talk about.
But like I actually think the first 3 seasons, especially season 2 and season 3, were very very strong. Like there was a time when D&D were like worshipped. उस टाइम पे माना जाता था कि यार ये क्या बना रहे हैं. right? Like for those of you who do not know, D&D are like David Benioff and DB Weiss, who are the creators of the show. तो
David Dan.
हाँ तो जैसे सीजन 2 का एक एपिसोड है वाइल्ड फायर, जिसमें आती है टिरियन लैनिस्टर लगा, वो जो पूरा दिखाया था. एंड एवरी सीजन 2 स्पेशली, लाइक हम लास्ट स्ट्रीम में मैं और आदित्य डिस्कस कर रहे थे, टाइवन लैनिस्टर की जो एंट्री है, लाइक वो एक एक चीज इतनी सॉलिड है. एंड आई हैड अ थिंग फॉर लैनिस्टर्स. मेरे को याद है मेरी एक टाइम पे फेसबुक डीपी जॉफ्री की होती थी. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. मैंने 2 जनों में चेंज की थी, पहले जॉफ्री थी, फिर जेमी लैनिस्टर थी, फिर टिरियन हो गई. सो आई जस्ट शफल्ड बिटवीन द डीपीज ऑफ जब व्हेन फेसबुक डीपी वाज अ कूल थिंग. सो लाइक आई जस्ट शफल्ड बिटवीन दैट. But yeah man, for me the show was good, and the whole Arya wala jo season 2 mein Arya and Tywin together, all those things were working for me. For me the show stopped working, like लोग जैसे like आदित्य ने कहा, तो आदित्य के लिए season 4 तक work किया था. मेरे लिए season 3 episode 9 peak of television थी, and they could do nothing after that to replicate it, which is the episode
You're saying Red Wedding,
the Reigns of Castamere, which is the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
So, when did it go downhill for you, Hindol?
I think it continued working because see, the Red Wedding was only cementing my interest. At that point, I was like, हाँ ठीक है, it's nice, it's अच्छा चल रहा है, थोड़ा ऐसा देख रहे हैं. But when that happened, I was like, shit. उसके बाद पूरा वो हो गया कि अब तो ये wherever it goes, I have to finish watching it, वैसा था. But I think season 6 end में थोड़ा थोड़ा ऐसा आ रहा था कि कुछ तो होने वाला है, because I kind of had a feeling that it wasn't going numbing. Now that I think of it, I see like what the reasons were, which we can delve into further. But season 6 towards the last 2-3 episodes, I had a feeling कि अभी कुछ तो है.
If I can be honest, I think oh shit, I can चलो बता देते हैं. I think I have skipped the season like in the last few seasons. मैंने क्या किया था, सीजन 6 था या सीजन 7 था जिसके लास्ट के एपिसोड, बैटल ऑफ बास्टर्ड्स वाला जो सीजन है ना, वो पूरा हाँ, तो मैंने सीजन 7 के पहले 8 एपिसोड नहीं देखे थे. मतलब वो आई जस्ट लाइक IMDb'd it
स्किप कर
मतलब ऐसे कि हाँ, मतलब मैंने इतना रिलीजियसली नहीं देखा था, क्योंकि मेरे को ये था कि मेरे को लास्ट सीजन देखना था. उसके लिए मेरे को था कि, और मैंने उससे पहले सेकंड लास्ट उससे पहले वाला नहीं देखा था, तो मेरे को था कि लास्ट के लिए जो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है बता दो. सो आई जस्ट वॉच्ड इट, एंड पीपल थिंक बैटल ऑफ बास्टर्ड्स इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट एपिसोड. फॉर मी इट वाज जस्ट an okay episode because I don't know man. Like, did Battle of Bastards work for you?
Personally, like Battle of Bastards worked for me only in terms of the battle. Like obviously, like there was, I mean, it's well done, you know, that's how it works. But in the larger scheme of things, I did not care so much at that point. You know, and again, what I just wanted to qualify when I said, like, you know, the show went down after season 4. I think because again, Game of Thrones is such a vast show where there is so much happening, where you have literally different characters like in different worlds, and they're doing their own political games, and there's some of them are at their rise and some of them are at their falls. So for me it was more like, oh, this person is like, for example, I thought Cersei's story was interesting almost throughout, like till season 6.
I like
her
Cersei
sort of I so did I like her sort of chess game against that religious cult leader, basically, right? Like, I thought that stuff was interesting, even in, I think, season 6, if I'm not wrong. And I thought that was interesting, but there was other stuff. The Stark storyline stopped working for me. I think when I say season 4 mein mele down gaya was the Stark I stopped giving a shit.
मेरी एक और थ्योरी है, आई थिंक इसके बारे में, लाइक आई हैवंट स्पोकन प्रॉपर्ली, बट मैं बहुत स्ट्रांगली बिलीव करता हूँ इसमें. वन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स आई हैड विद द शो वाज वेरी मच सेंट्रिक टू वाइट वॉकर्स, बिकॉज मेरे को उन बहुत गालियाँ निकलेंगी अभी, लेट्स कंट्रोल करता हूँ. मेरे को वाइट वॉकर्स से सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत थी, आई नेवर फाउंड देम स्केरी. मेरी फटती नहीं थी वाइट वॉकर्स देख के. यार ढंग से तो बनाती है, क्या तुमने गंदे से वाइट वॉकर्स बनाए. मतलब उसमें पूरे लास्ट हमेशा होता था, पहले कुछ सीजन्स में आया नहीं, लास्ट में एक हॉर्न बजता था कि एक वाइट वॉकर आएगा. मैंने कहा क्या इसको देख के डरना था क्या? लाइक आई वाज ऑलवेज लाइक दैट, एंड आई वॉच गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स फॉर द पॉलिटिक्स. not for the White Walkers. I watched कि टिरियन क्या करेगा, अच्छा अब वो गोल्ड का क्या करेंगे, कौन किसको डेट में, कौन किसके डेट में. मैजिक पार्ट मेरे को वाला मॉर्गुलस वाला बहुत अच्छा लगता था, बट नथिंग इन रिगार्ड टू वाइट वॉकर्स. लाइक क्योंकि मेरे को पता था ये है ही नहीं कुछ यार, कोई इमोशन नहीं, कुछ नहीं, डरावने नहीं लगते. लाइक एंड आई थिंक ये बहुत ही रेयर केसेस में, जैसे लाइक आई डोंट थिंक लाइक मेजॉरिटी अग्रीज विद मी. Because I think did White Walkers work for you? Because from season from the episode 1 जहाँ से White Walkers पहली बार दिखाए थे, जब पहले एक बार उनका एक राजा दिखाते हैं आधा कटा हुआ, वो गस्तावो फ्रिंग जैसा, मेरे को तब से ही मेरे लिए वर्क नहीं किए थे यार. So like what's your like opinion of White Walkers?
White Walkers, okay, so show का like when you're watching the show for the first time, you're looking for reference points. कि लाइक अच्छा ठीक है, मैं अगर ये देख रहा हूँ तो व्हाट हैव आई सीन सिमिलर समथिंग लाइक दिस, कि वो ठीक है ये लॉर्ड ऑफ द रिंग्स जैसा है या ये कुछ वैसा है. सो आवर इंट्रोडक्शन टू द शो वाज दैट द वर्ल्ड दैट वी आर सीइंग, द पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ इट, एज यू सेड, कि क्या माइंड गेम्स हो रहे हैं, किसका क्या कैरेक्टर है, दैट्स व्हाट इंट्रिग्ड एवरीवन. एंड देन व्हेन द ड्रैगन्स वर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, व्हेन द ड्रैगन्स केम इन, व्हेन द होल वाइल्डफायर थिंग वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, वहाँ पे ये था कि ओके अब मिडिल ईरा पॉलिटिक्स से हम जा रहे हैं फैंटेसी की तरफ, मैजिक की तरफ. सो दैट सेटअप टू एग्जीक्यूशन वाज इम्पोर्टेंट. वेयरएज व्हाइट वॉकर्स में अब ये था कि जैसे वो होता है ना कि राइटिंग में बोलते हैं कि एक टाइम बॉम्ब थियरी होता है, कि आपने एक सीन लिखा उसके बाद आपको दिखाना है कि स्टेक्स क्या है, कि अब ये चल रहा है, ये नॉर्मल स्टोरी चल रहा है, बट एट द एंड की एक टाइम बॉम्ब टिक हो रहा है, तो नाउ यू हैव टू डिटरमाइन. व्हाइट वॉकर्स वाज एज स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टेक्स एज सच, क्योंकि in the end we see कि okay सबको साथ में आना है, all humans have to come together to fight White Walkers. But if we had seen in the starting itself कि White Walkers आके थोड़ा डैमेज करना स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं,
वो चले ही जा रहे हैं, कभी कहीं पहुंच ही नहीं रहे, थोड़े तो दिखा
पूरा आपने जो है 8 सीजन बिल्डअप किया, उसके बाद एक एपिसोड में वॉर हुआ, वो भी एंड में आके उसको पीछे से
एंड यू नो पीपल शिट, लाइक पीपल फाउंड दैट एपिसोड शिट, और बहुत उसके बाद मेरे को सही लगा था, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. वो एपिसोड मेरे को फाइट्स भी सही लगी थी, मेरे को स्ट्रैटेजीज ऑफ द वॉर बहुत गंदी लगी थी, कि डोथराकीस को पहले भेज दिया, वो सब बहुत गंदी थी. But I like the direction.
The guys who are used to fighting half naked in a desert, let's send them into a blizzard to fight zombies. So outside your castle walls, that's the best strategy I've ever seen.
I remember मेरा दिल्ली में तब कोई शूट था, और ना मैंने एक दिन स्किप करके, मेरा फ्रेंड ध्रुव लाइक वो इज डूइंग द टीवी सीरीज ऑन चलचित्र, तो मैं ध्रुव के घर गया था, क्योंकि हमने कॉलेज में भी साथ में देखना चालू किया था. मैंने कहा था ये एपिसोड तो साथ में देखना है, दिस इज लाइक द रेड वेडिंग एपिसोड ऑफ सीजन 8, और हमने लाइटें बंद करके और पूरे फील्ड में आके देखा. एंड यू नो द मोमेंट वी बोथ एंजॉयड इट, बट द मोमेंट द एपिसोड एंडेड, हमने ट्विटर पे बोला द एपिसोड वाज टू डार्क. लोगों को बेसिकली दिखाई नहीं दिया था, यू नो दिस हैपेंड. हाँ ये मेरे को लगा
and did you read about the DOP got so defensive as DOP? Anybody who knows DOP is okay. Like this is an insider. Anyone who's ever been on a set knows what a DOP's attitude is like generally to life. Okay. And I only met one kind of DOP. And he got so defensive. He's like, no, I look at, I know I could see through the viewfinder. Okay, तुम लोग का टीम में प्रॉब्लम रहेगा. I'm like, नहीं bro. Like, and dude, one more thing about, like, I completely agree with Weber on that. People wanted to see the politics. I think they really underestimated how much people love the politics of it and not so much the zombies walking slowly. You know, and the other thing with that also is that, you know, I think they took that metaphor too far. Like I think, like George R. Martin was trying to do that real life thing, right? Like you have like climate change, which he said also. I think like he's
which I think he still might pull off though. मतलब क्योंकि उसका तो काम ही.
I want to mention one thing. I love that the show is like, जैसे अभी IPL चालू है तो मैं उसका एक reference use करूँगा कि जैसे अभी आप अभी आपका LBW होता है, you can appeal, no now. You can do like an appeal. I feel like the show is like the appeal for George R. Martin, because now he has seen what people hate. Okay, it's a great hack actually, and now he can do it. इसके लिए I think उसने actually सारे पन्ने लिखे हुए हैं, उसने जैसे रिएक्शन है उसने फाड़ दिए सारे, ठीक है। इसके लिए 2 एक्स्ट्रा साल ले रहा है लिखने के लिए कि उसने पहली वाली बुक फाड़ दी।
मार्केट रिसर्च था ये, उसने
और मेरे
डाल दे।
अभी उसकी 2 किताबें बची है, 2 बची है ना?
2 किताबें बची।
तो मेरे को लगता है एक तो उसने डेफिनेटली लिखी हुई है, वो ऐसी रीरन्स करवा रहा है। मतलब वो ऐसी हो ही नहीं सकता कि उसने खत्म नहीं की हो यार। मतलब
वो कह रहा है कि मैं नहीं लिखी है भाई, वो कह रहा है मैंने लिखी ही नहीं है।
जब जॉर्ज आर मार्टिन की बात आई गई है, so I was just like reading up on him कि क्या है बैकग्राउंड वगैरह। So he used to write TV show pilots, he's written film scripts वगैरह।
Guys, a small trivia, do you know जॉर्ज आर मार्टिन ने The Office का कमेंट्स बताओ कौन सा एपिसोड ऐसे just fucking with you।
अच्छा okay, nice, you got me on that one।
Yeah, हाँ sorry, please yeah।
So basically his whole idea behind writing Game of Thrones was कि I will spend my life, I will spend time on making a proper mythology, I will make a proper world for it। So it's almost like an unadaptable show, right? जैसे ड्यून है, ड्यून भी मतलब vast world है, it's very difficult to adapt it to a cinematic thing।
But the problem there is कि they adapted it perfectly, dude। They just मतलब आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि it's unadaptable because they did such a great job in the first few seasons।
So that's what I was coming to, that they were doing it well till the source material was there। अब क्या है कि now Game of Thrones is a character driven show and what it became in the end is a plot driven show। plot में क्या होता है कि you just show कि summary event है कि ये हुआ,
very nice point,
then this happened। Now what we had seen till season 5 or 6 is like okay ठीक है ये character
यहाँ तक की बुक्स आ गई थी।
हाँ
बुक्स आना सीजन 7 और 8 का बुक नहीं था ना, या 6 का भी?
6 का भी अराउंड
6 का सेकंड हाफ से आई थिंक है ना।
हाँ 6 का सेकंड हाफ से नहीं था। एंड नाउ द थिंग इज लाइक इवन जैसे वो इनका रोड ट्रिप चलता रहता था, आर्या और वो जो दूसरा बंदा कौन था उसके साथ, अरे हाउंड, उनका रोड ट्रिप चलता रहता था और उसमें भी लाइक वी कुड सेंस कि ओके दिस इज व्हाट द कैरेक्टर इज फीलिंग, व्हाट दे गोइंग थ्रू, अब इनके साथ ये होने वाला है। सो वी न्यू ईच एंड एवरी पर्सन एंड आफ्टर दैट इट जस्ट बिकेम अ हाईलाइट रील। जैसे अगर लास्ट 2 सीजंस थे, लास्ट 2 सीजन थोड़ा और टाइम देते, थोड़ा और उसमें फ्लैश करते तो मे बी these events itself could have worked। People would have found कि okay Daenerys
when Daenerys takes over like King's Landing, वो इतना रश था, वो सुबह होती है वहां मर जाते हैं लोग, ये मतलब। और गाइस बाय द वे स्पॉयलर्स है बहुत।
हाँ स्पॉइलर।
another thing like I also feel like this is a slightly aggressive opinion, but I do think that Dave and Dan were not as talented as they think that they were। Okay, because I have read the first book, all right, for example, and the first book and the first season, right, is almost like page to page. Okay, like it's almost the same. Like there are certain things, like there is Lady Stoneheart करके later, I don't even think she's in the first book, but like later
yeah
in fact ये आज ही एक कुछ तो आया है, why they've revealed why they removed the character।
So the thing is, the first book was complete, like, and I'm assuming the same thing was ever the subsequent books, right? Plus, there's another factor over here. George R. R. Martin was involved in the writing till season 4, after which he left. Okay. So, and he, in fact, every season he wrote one episode, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he wrote an episode each. So, like, he was literally, when you think about it, and this is proof now with all the seasons out, that he was literally hand-holding them through the season।
ये वही हो गया ना वेस्ट विंग में जब एरन सॉर्गन चला जाता है। Yeah, it's like that. But like, do you guys remember कौन से episodes हैं जो जॉर्ज आर आर मार्टिन ने लिखे हैं?
मैंने आज ही पढ़ा था, but I forgot। Oh, one more point I wanted to make about Game of Thrones going bad. Okay, like it's similar to what Hindol said about, you know, like it was a character-driven show and then became a plot-driven show। In fact, end में तो Bollywood टाइप ही हो गया था, जैसे कि मतलब वो आ रही है और पहली बार तो उसका मतलब जो क्या है उसकी वो ट्रेबुशे टाइप जो थिंग्स है उससे तो बहुत फर्क पड़ रहा है। दूसरी बार उसके 100 बैठे हुए हैं पर फिर कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है, मतलब शी जस्ट डॉजिंग इट लाइक अ पोकेमॉन, राइट? सो लाइक इट इज मेकिंग अ डिफरेंस। दैट इज वन थिंग। द अदर थिंग आल्सो इज दैट, you know, I was actually reading, sorry about the repeat, but I was reading about The Sopranos again yesterday, okay? And I was reading some stuff about it and how it broke like rules of TV, not just on an anti-hero level, but at every level. And Game of Thrones did that too. It made fantasy cool for adults.
Yeah.
Okay, it made politics also like what a sort of childish element to politics, so people who are otherwise not into it could understand it. Right? They also did what I thought was very brave and got my interest was that killing of primary protagonists who we were most interested in.
ये killing off वाली चीज है, it's basically known as plot armor. Plot armor कि कोई भी important character होता है, आप देखो कि जैसे storm trooper वाला logic होता है कि वो चाहे जहाँ भी मारे वो कभी target पे नहीं आता. Now
even that was also in Psycho, right, where they kill off the
in
leading
Game of Thrones, it's almost like okay, ये character
I was just finishing. So the thing is, in Sopranos, they continue doing that, and that's the point. That is in Sopranos, they did that till the very end. You know, so whenever people were watching the Sopranos, it wasn't like watching any other TV show. Same thing with Game of Thrones. When people were tuning into Game of Thrones, it wasn't like watching, you know, something like Entourage or some other nonsense like that. You know, they were watching something which they expected would break a rule and be unexpected, which they completely abandoned, which they stopped doing. I think ever since Jon Snow was brought back to life, they just sort of like abandoned their entire trope itself. And I think that's where a lot of things also went wrong.
Even the subversion thing that you're saying, I was coming to that. तो उसमें ये है कि plot armor वाली जो चीज़ है, Game of Thrones में, whenever a character fulfills its purpose in the universe, it gets killed off. जैसे Robb Stark, Catelyn Stark वाले जो timeline था. The second we realized that okay, these guys are not important players, they got eliminated. So if Game of Thrones universe works like that. Up, what happened is to the end there were so many characters who should not have been there, but there were because fan favorites. जैसे वो Hound था, और Mountain मर के वापस आ जाता है zombie बन के. So all of these things were there. And secondly, the subversion thing you said कि मतलब Game of Thrones was known कि okay ये trope है, इसको हम defy करेंगे, अब तुम देखो. No, I think to some extent they kind of fell prey to this thing in the later seasons. कि they in the attempt to defy expectations कि okay Jon Snow को हमने दिखाया कि हाँ इसका dragons के साथ है ना कुछ तो Targaryen है, तो I think ना इसमें कुछ होने वाला है, ये king बनेगा, कुछ नहीं, Bran बनेगा king जो कांटों का. Same thing goes with the Night King being killed. We are thinking okay Jon Snow मारेगा या Bran मारेगा, कोई मारेगा, Sansa आके मारेगी, कुछ तो होगा. And कि वो पीछे से आके खंजर भूख दिया हो गया.
There's another thing. Whenever you introduce, and I said this somewhere, sorry, मैंने अपने podcast से बोला है. तो whenever you introduce Disscontent podcast, link here in description. So go check out the channel Disscontent and subscribe. But no, whenever you introduce time travel in a story, you are setting yourself up for a failure. I personally believe, okay, and I have never seen a time travel except for Bill and Ted. I've never seen a time travel story that has. I'm Back to the Future because Back to the Future was the first one.
तुम time travel क्या उसका वो brand वाला बोल रहे हो क्या?
हाँ, like the minute you introduce a guy who knows exactly what's gonna happen, and then this guy has fucked up. The same thing with Avengers, the last movie, right? The minute you say this shit, that is the moment where basically all story structure, all character, nothing has a point anymore because the one dude knows everything that's going to happen, right? And it's not even making that much of a difference.
Even when the dude knows and he actively does something for it makes for something cinematic. Bran को पता है क्या होने वाला, तो कहता है हाँ भाई मैं बेच हुआ हूँ.
That's the other thing. I think what Hindol made was a good point about the plot thing, which also I was referring to. Okay, I thought Bran fulfilled his purpose long ago. I think that whole track itself was very unnecessary. That did not. I think that should have ended like badly. You know, like Bran should have inadvertently caused some messed up shit that got, say, Jon killed. Or
but eventually Bran wins the Game of Thrones, na?
Yeah.
Bran does, but it's annoying as shit. Like, like I'm just first of all, the simple point being that I don't know where this. Also, the other thing that annoyed me, okay, in the end of season 8, suddenly liberal values had permeated this medieval kingdom, okay. Where it was like, we have to give the people a story. which they can buy, a narrative which they can buy into, that we will tell them. That's how they were like, boys, why do you have to do anything? You can put anybody on the throne. Nobody is going to say shit. They were like okay with Joffrey, kind of. They write it once. Never really made much of it. I'm just like, it did not make any sense at all. Like the entire politics of it had gone completely, and we can talk about the politics of it also. Like, and it completely haywire.
And they fucked my favorite character of the show, Jaime Lannister. Jaime के साथ जो उन्होंने किया है यार, मतलब it shouldn't happen. Like
वो लोग कोई बेसमेंट में जाके मर गए. वो लोग कोई बेसमेंट में जाके खत्म. मतलब
और लास्ट एपिसोड में कोई घोड़ा वोड़ा दिखता है ना, उसका क्या रेफरेंस था? आर्य को घोड़ा दिखता है.
I think वो लोग भूल गए. I thought they thought that they were in a Terrence Malick film. I think they got confused कि कौन से सेट पे हम लोग आज.
नहीं वो ऐसे होता है ना, जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा में, ऐसे घोड़े जा रहे होते हैं वहाँ से.
बट कमेंट्स पढ़ेंगे गाइस थोड़ी देर में, क्योंकि अभी हमारे पास ही बहुत कुछ है डिस्कस करने के लिए, तो वी विल कम टू द कमेंट्स इन अ बिट. बट लेट्स आल्सो another thing that like I find shitty, I'm talking about the shitty things first. Last episode में जब Jon Daenerys को मारता है, it's the most unsatisfying death I've ever seen in my life. वो जो मारता है कहीं वो जो उसको खंजर like डालता है, कुछ यार ढंग से तो मारते हुए दिखाते, like a lover is killing like the other person. It was so unsatisfying. I was like
हाँ ऐसे like he takes her to a cliff and then she's like मैं तुम्हें आजाद कर रहा हूँ Daenerys, और फेंक देता उसको पर वो गिर जाता.
गरम करके ठंडा छोड़ दिया.
Even worse was the dragon जो उसके मुंह पे डगार मार के निकल जाता है. I'm just like okay.
No, even that scene to talk about, that the dragon's son destroys the throne with flame. So now what does that suggest? Visually that suggests कि okay, अब यहाँ पे throne खत्म हो गया, ये empire खत्म हो गया, ये हो गया. Cut to अभी हाँ भाई, we have to decide who is going to be the next king. So okay, you
that is the thing. So what they negated their own metaphor within 2.5 minutes. Because they just destroyed the throne. So yeah, you're right. Because in your mind you're like, oh, the throne is gone. There is no game. But then they're like, no, we'll just get a different chair. That's fine. Yeah. So it's like, what is the significance?
So they were like, Bran comes with his own chair to savings. So
ये चल रहा था.
Also the excruciatingly bad humor in the later seasons. Oh my god. They thought, like, after a point it was all humor that the internet wanted.
Yeah.
This is the problem, shows that get too much of an audience that they were better than to handle. Like, it just got
I think after a point the marketing team was allowed into the writers' room.
And guys, obviously the Starbucks incident. Do you think it was planned?
I think it was planned. It was a nice product placement. Jैसे there was one with Downton Abbey.
Oh, do you think it was planned? Like, but like.
I think it was.
Aditya, तुम्हें क्या लगता है?
I don't think like producers would allow that.
Yeah,
like,
ये
my
plan.
personal experience with producers.
ये
plan.
I will tell you that क्या होता है when an edit is logged, a show edit is logged. It goes for testing. It goes for research. It goes for like shows are re-edited based on marketing.
There are 200 eyes that look at this stuff.
Yeah.
It is impossible that A, no one spotted it. B, if it was an actual error, they didn't fix it. It's like the same thing कि पहले episodes leak हो जाते थे.
नहीं यार, ये I don't agree with this, क्योंकि बहुत सारी पिक्चरें हैं जिनमें गलतियाँ होती हैं, बहुत सारे shows हैं.
हाँ, but see, sometimes it's mostly like it's not fixable. In Game of Thrones, it was very fixable. You just have to ये Premiere Pro पे आप कर सकते हो.
Masking tool. Yeah.
All you have to do is that. So if it was planned, I want it to be planned because then it's a good marketing strategy from.
I don't think it was that. I won't give them that credit to it. When
seriously.
ये credit.
The other thing with going wrong in the show, I also feel like, and I'm coming back to that thing that I said, that don't you think that a lot of like this is like D&D are the anti-Vince Gilligan. Okay, because Vince Gilligan started a show, it got progressively super popular, but he stuck to his aesthetic. He stuck to what he was doing. fans मराने के जो बोलने बोले लो, but these guys started listening to the fans.
Yeah.
I think, and that's
and Vince Gilligan knew the ending even before writing the show. He knew कि I'm starting from here. I have to take this guy here, and that was the whole idea of Breaking Bad कि finite show होगा.
Yeah. तो also जो एक और मेनली डिसअपॉइंटमेंट थी, टेरियन मेरा वन ऑफ द फेवरेट कैरेक्टर्स होता था. टेरियन को he was a dummy. They were treating him as a template dwarf by the later seasons. It was so मतलब कि कोई पावर नहीं. ही इज मेकिंग सुपर जोक्स. पहले याद है सीजन 2 में उसके इतने तगड़े तगड़े कोट्स थे. अ मैन नीड्स अ बुक लाइक अ दिस नीड्स लाइक अ दिस एंड लाइक जो भी आपकी वीकनेसेस होती हैं
जब ट्रायल होता है उसका.
हाँ वो जो लाइक जॉफरी को थप्पड़ मारता है 4 सीजन 2 में, लाइक ब्रॉदल वगैरह जाता है, लाइक जो उसकी कूलनेस थी ना वो मेरे को लगता है कि बहुत ही अनसैटिस्फाइंग तरीके से खत्म की गई थी. इट्स लाइक वो था ना गंदा रिलेशनशिप. जैसे एक बेटर कॉल सॉल का एपिसोड है संक कॉस्ट, कि आप इतना कुछ इन्वेस्ट कर सके तो बस खींचते जाओ. सीजन 6
संक कॉस्ट फैलेसी पोकर गए.
संकोच fallacy actually तो economics का term है ना?
Economics का, yeah, which most survived in poker.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And Tyrion, that's another thing. Tyrion was always, in my view, a grayish character. You know, like he was like the Roman of Succession.
Yeah.
So this show, you know, a little bit like he was like in my eyes in the
very
first
nice,
season,
very nice.
That guy. But later he just became like this white character who's like Gandhi, you know, like he was like I must do no wrong kind of a person. I just feel like that was weird. Like I don't think that character earned that thing properly.
In TV show world, it's very easy for like these kind of characters, जैसे go-getter characters जो से होते हैं, who get all the cool lines. It's like they have an added advantage of becoming popular with the audience. So now the question is, what do you do with that advantage? जैसे Breaking Bad में Saul Goodman है. Saul Goodman is a go-getter. We know that if anything happens, better call Saul. But they use Saul Goodman to represent a lot of things. Like so much so that they made another show to him. So whenever I used to watch Tyrion, I was like, हाँ इसका कुछ when he becomes hand, something is going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, my parallel was
reason why I like season 2 so much was because that was when Tyrion had the most power. क्योंकि season 2 में he was the most powerful because he was the hand of king. उसके बाद उसका कभी इतनी actual power नहीं थी because he was taking the decisions as a king. जो wildfire वगैरह करता है वो सब Tyrion का प्लान था. और पता नहीं यार बाकी जो हाउसेस थे आई रेयरली गिव अ फक अबाउट देम. बराथियंस वगैरह तो मेरे को बहुत ही ऐसे लगते थे. बराथियंस वो
बराथियन का स्वागत पान पराग से.
बराथियन में जो मेन बराथियन था वो गोल करके एक मूवी है उसमें कोच होता है ना मेन फुटबॉलर का. स्टैनिस बराथियन. उनका कुछ अलग ही चल.
कौन सी गोल है?
धंधनादन नहीं. तुम्हें पता है ना, by the way, Dhandanathan goal is by the way written by, if you guys don't know, Vikramaditya Motwane.
Yeah. And Anurag Kashyap. And directed by visionary writing director Vivek Agnihotri.
Dhandanathan goal is directed by Vivek Agnihotri.
Yes, sir. It was a collaboration between the left and the right coming together.
Written by Vikramaditya Motwane, dialogues by Anurag Kashyap.
और Anurag Kashyap is also written full and final. ये सब एक TVF के स्केच में यूज किया था जिसमें अनुराग कश्यप ने खुद भी एक्ट किया था. So anyway, हम बरातियंस में थे. सबसे गंदे हाउसेस कौन से लगते थे तुम्हें?
डॉन वाला जो भी स्टोरी लाइन था, जितने भी कैरेक्टर्स थे, they all deserve to die. Nobody cared.
डॉन कौन सा ये?
I was going to bring this up. Which was the Dawn part, right? So, and in the book, and I've spoken to people who've read the entire series, jitna aaya hai, and they say that Dawn plays a much larger role in the full politics of it, and much more interesting role, which was just never. And by the way, they forgot about Dawn by the end of it. They basically
because it didn't work with the audience marketing.
But like in the beginning, the Oberyn Martell character, who was basically Peña from Narcos, that stuff worked pretty well, I think. Like that, that entire part. They should have like sort of followed through at some level on that also, but they just I think they got, that's what I'm saying, Dave and Dan got a story. I'm not saying they're bad directors or they're bad showrunners. I'm sure they're very good ones, but they got a story that was a little too big for their boots. So as long as they had George to sort of go with them on it, it was good. But when he went out, it was just a story that was so vast, they did not want to bring it together.
Why do you think he went out to focus on the books?
I think he realized it's boring.
They wanted to. It's the same thing, like how they say Star Wars is basically keeping up with Kardashians for like Skywalker. So it's like one family's drama that ruins entirety of the universe, and it's easier to do. Like एक ही परिवार में सब कुछ हो रहा है, so it's like a natural line of succession. Now in Game of Thrones, it's like there are so many players, there are so many houses, there are storylines for all of them, and you have to satisfy all of them. What happens towards the end? It's just that everything is about the Starks. The Starks will lead. The Targaryens will lead. It only became about these 2-3 houses. And
I actually did not have a problem with Stars being the lead because they were likable. That was true. But उन्होंने arcs ढंग से कम. आर्या मेरे को बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद थी. आर्या को जैसे like खत्म ही कर दिया. मतलब I stopped giving a fuck about Arya towards the later seasons. आर्या के साथ ये हुआ.
Remember on the Game of Thrones Reddit, she was called Terminator Arya by the end because they were like, ये तो मतलब अभी कुछ भी कर सकती है.
Super strong. क्या ट्रेनिंग है?
Sansa हमेशा से annoying थी. She was like Skylar from Breaking Bad.
I always liked Sansa. I liked her arc. Like
Sansa's arc was still better done.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted her to be king. That would have still made sense. Queen. It's a gender neutral.
Okay. नहीं like Sansa did not like. और कौन थे? Greyjoy.
Littlefinger was a very shitty end, by the way. I thought Littlefinger, I would have been very happy if Littlefinger would have won.
यार Littlefinger और Lord Varys की जो बातें होती थी, मेरे को लगता था ये तो सब खत्म हो जाएंगे, ये दोनों त्रिवेदी बचेंगे. और but like seriously यार, like what they did to Littlefinger, they sounded एक conversation उन दोनों की chaos is a ladder वाली, where the throne is here, और कुछ हुआ है मेरे को याद नहीं, and they both are talking about like वो ही है ना कि जो भी अभी करंट गवर्नमेंट में भी जो लोग हैं जो परेश रावल है नायक में बेसिकली की सत्ता बदलती रहती है, हम वही रहते हैं. सो लिटिलफिंगर एंड लॉर्ड वेरिस आर दैट. बट उन दोनों को लॉर्ड वेरिस भी बहुत वीक बन जाता है. आई थिंक वो जब डेनेरिस के पास जो भी गया है ना, उनके कैरेक्टर्स रूइन हो गए हमेशा के लिए.
True.
Do you think Emilia Clarke is a good actor? Let's discuss.
I don't think so at all. I
don't think so because I saw her in some other movie. I don't know which movie it was, and it was pretty bad.
The best actors in my view in the show were who was the Greyjoy, the brother, Theon was a great actor, I thought.
The guy whose dick was cut off, right?
Yeah, that's
Theon.
Theon. No, the guy whose dick was cut off was Theon. And the guy who cut his dick off, that guy also great actor.
He was also very good.
I thought Sansa played her part very well.
And Ramsay Bolton
Ramsay
played किया बहुत बढ़िया.
He also played Hitler in another very good show, Urban Legends.
I am not surprised. I am absolutely
he played young Hitler in that. It's damn funny. It's actually a really funny show.
मेरे को Tywin Lannister मेरा one of the favorite actors था.
Charles Dance. He was another like great actor.
Arya was nice.
First 2 seasons. First couple.
मेरे लिए Game of Thrones पहले 3 सीजन है. So उसके बाद तो पता ही नहीं क्या था. Like और एक और चीज डिस्कस करनी है. अभी उनकी like sadly डेथ भी हुई है. जो एक होती है ना जो जॉफरी को बोलती है जेमी को, tell him like कि I was the one.
Olenna Martell. Sorry, Martell नहीं, कुछ और सरनेम है, but Tyrell.
So that Tyrell lady, जो old Tyrell lady थी जिनकी अभी डेथ भी हुई है. Again, like just explain this to me because ये मेरे को genuinely समझना है. वो जेमी को उस कमरे में बोलती है कि उसको बोलता है कि मैं तेरे को मारने वाला हूँ, पीसफुल रखेंगे. वो बोलती है उसको tell him it was me. And लोग पागल हो गए थे. बट वो लाइन मेरे को कभी हिट नहीं की. Why वो मतलब it's okay.
मुझे तो हिट की. That was like that एक on Eric Andre Shuka will be right back on Jamie's face. I felt like that was that kind of a moment.
Yeah, मतलब like मेरे को उसमें stakes समझ मतलब was it a oh fuck like obviously like मेरे को कुछ भी feel नहीं हुआ like I still try to think about it. मैंने अभी recently I think वो वाला part वापस देखा था. Why did it not work for me? But I still don't know. I don't know. ऐसे मेरे को बताना था कि वो समझ नहीं.
There's one more thing. There's a YouTube channel और मैं अपना plug नहीं कर रहा हूँ इसमें. Preston Jacobs करके एक बंदा है. They used to do him and another guy a Red Team review. I think they used to do like daily, like every episode का they would talk. And Preston Jacobs has done a beautiful like how to fix season 7 and season 8. And additionally in that there's a great part about how they've really fucked up Littlefinger's trial. Okay, and he recreated the trial where he's basically narrating each character's he rewrote the dialogue. Okay, and he says that his scene actually looks way better, like 10 times better than what would actually. I would check that out, Preston Jacobs. If you're still interested.
मेरे को ऐसा लगता है in future like 5 to 15 years from now जब सारी बुक्स आ जाएंगी मतलब जो भी है मेरे को लगता है कुछ ना कुछ तो आर मार्टिन ने प्लान किया होगा उसके ड्राफ्ट वगैरह भेज दिए होंगे द शो विल बी मेड अगेन समवन विल पिक अप दिस वो ड्यून वाली चीज होगी इसमें कि लेट्स डू इट प्रॉपर्ली और तब कोई डेने वेनेलोए टाइप मिलेगा और वो बोलेगा एंड दे विल पुल इट ऑफ लाइक उसको प्रॉपर क्लोजर देंगे वो जो हमें ब्रेकिंग बैड और वो भी
और फिर भारी हाइप भी होगा दे विल गेट भारी हाइप फॉर दैट
डेफिनेटली because no one was happy like they ruined it for everyone.
See, but again coming on to that point that Dune and all of these things like even Lord of the Rings ke pehle show bana then they again tried it for a movie it was because there was still like some positive response to it right now with Game of Thrones like imagine a show okay which has been in pop culture for 10 years 10 years is a very long time and after the last season nobody talks about it pehle like aap internet pe ja nahi sakte without someone popping in some Game of Thrones reference and now nobody talks about it nobody makes any reference koi t-shirt nahi pehanta Game of Thrones
नहीं ये सब change हो जाएगा एक बार किताबें आने दो because when people will realize this was the potential of it तो ये हाँ
people could do movies I think people might because people will like usually you do a show to explain the world but now everybody will already know the world so movies will like Dune का इसके लिए मेरे सबसे sensitive होना था because Dune trailer when I saw it and I'm reading the book now I feel like Dune required the Game of Thrones treatment in the sense of one book should be one full season of like 10-12 hours because it's that vast so I think that might help in the future. Yeah, sorry, Hindol, you were saying something.
I was saying Game of Thrones, I think would work in the current environment that we've seen the show. If it's converted into a game, I think it might work even better.
Point about this, by the way, I don't know. It's one of the most popular games of the world. I love it. Skyrim. And Hindol, have you played it?
I've heard of it.
So Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls 5, that one originally was made as a game to be developed for the Game of Thrones books before the show was made. I think. Okay, that was the intention. Then some deal fell through, and they did not go ahead with it. And then, if you play Skyrim even today, it's the same conflict. The game starts, and it's this world, and the names also vary. There's a place called Whiterun. There's and the whole conflict is that dragons have returned to the world. Okay, and you are the Dragonborn. You are the dragon killer, basically. So it's basically that, and then I think that is already done because Skyrim is already there, and Skyrim is like one of the most popular games of all time. So yeah.
What was your opinion? Because there are so much आएंगे questions, काफी सारी क्योंकि वही है फिर justice नहीं कर पाएंगे. What's your opinion of the wildlings?
मेरा opinion.
हाँ मतलब like both of you.
I think. मतलब again they were trying to draw real life political parallel with this stuff right with like the most closest example being Northern Ireland which was anyway so like I just thought like that entire storyline worked for Jon Snow's character but I also felt like to a large extent they only existed because Jon Snow existed you know
true.
In that so but I liked it I do not have any strong feelings to or against because that was the time when the show was still good like early days when I cared about who this guy is and where he's going
and stuff. Another strong thing जो मैंने शायद जब मैंने छोड़ दिया था season 4 के बाद तो एक बाद में जब मैंने देखा था वो बच्चा मारता है खुद को, पीछे एक वो म्यूजिक बजता है, वो मैं गाना बहुत सुनता हूँ साउंड ट्रैक, जब देयर इज दिस होल पार्ट वेयर लाइक सर्सी जो बेटा होता है उसका, जो जॉफरी का भी छोटा भाई होता है, ही किल्स हिमसेल्फ, उसमें पीछे एक साउंड ट्रैक बजता है, लाइक डू यू रिमेंबर दैट?
That's a great song.
That's a
That's
great song. Like I think वो भी
that's the beginning of that same track plays in the beginning of the episode in the lead up to the bomb blast. No, that's a beautiful. By the way, the music of Game of Thrones was always great. Raman Djawadi, I think.
हाँ, मेरे को pronounce करना नहीं आता, but yeah, that guy like he did quite a great job. अब ले लेते हैं थोड़े बहुत questions, सब थोड़ा थोड़ा देखते जाओ, like if you guys like अच्छा चलो एक question मैंने देखा किसी का comment वहीं से लेते हैं. If you want a spin-off series of a Game of Thrones character, whom would you want to see a spin-off series of?
I would personally, I read the Duncan Egg book, by the way. There's another book which is based in like the past, even like 80, 100 years before the events of this one. So maybe that. I would like to go back into the story. I would like to go not even to Robert Baratheon when they were young. I would like to go further back into like a prequel. Prequel. Like what happened? What was the Targaryen age like, for example?
I think like same to look at the Targaryen age. I think if it was from the Night King's point of view, he's just a Night King है वो एक, it's not one person.
Yeah.
It's like a type keep applying for. Like at one point, one person is Night King, the other person becomes Night King, and they keep fighting with the Targaryens and different houses. So it's not like this जो fight हुआ end में, it's not the first time it happened, right? It has happened multiple times. So through them we could see probably the because then politics from this angle we've covered almost everything. It's almost like the villains look at.
I would want to see a spin-off of that Vala Morghulis guy, Bravos वाला जो आता है season 2 में, जो actual first आता है जब उसकी शक्ल नहीं बदली होती, the faceless man, जब वो आता है, either him or the guy जो उसका SWAT जो ट्रेनर होता है season 1 में आर्या का, जो उसको not today बोलना सिखाता है, वो जो उसको वो भी ब्रावोस का ही होता है. So Bravos, I think they also ruined Bravos quite a lot. Bravos को अगर आप ढंग से बनाओ, Bravos में क्या चलता है? I'm very much interested in Bravos.
I also like the real life parallels with these. Like Bravos is like Rome, I'm assuming, right? Because they also had the bank, which I think Rome had the oldest bank in the world or something like that. So then there was Dorn is like Spain, I'm assuming.
हाँ ये करते तो वहीं से है, मतलब ये
that stuff. Wildlings are like is like Finland and Scandinavia basically, right? It's like Europe का थोड़ा भारी influence, because he said also the story is based on the War of the Roses, right? Between the Tudor बन गए eventually, Yorks and something, Lancaster. Yeah, Yorks and Lancasters.
There was a theory also na कि the Westeros map is basically the map of England. Which it is not. It's almost.
But the story is Yorks and Lancasters के basis पे only, so which is नाम भी वहाँ से उठा है, Lannister and Stark.
I think Bravos का अगर spin-off show बने ना, it should be like a sitcom. कि इनको assassins को भेजते हैं एक mission पे, so that's like one episode, and then they like that happen to them.
And another thing that I personally care a lot about when I see such things is the atmosphere of a place that they're trying to show. कभी मेरे को किंग्स लैंडिंग में मतलब जैसे कि हाफ लाइफ 2 पे कमेंट है कहीं उस पे कि यार दिस सिटी जो सिटी 17 दिखा था हाफ लाइफ 2 में, इट सीम्स लाइक अ नाइस सिटी, अगर इस पे अटैक नहीं होता सो आई वुड हैव लाइक टू सिट ऑन अ बेंच इन द सिटी. तो किंग्स लैंडिंग के लिए कभी ये फील नहीं है, बिकॉज आई कुड नेवर लाइक अंडरस्टैंड वहाँ के लोग क्या करते हैं. मैं इन बारे में हमेशा सोचना चाहता हूँ कि शाम को ये लोग क्या करते हैं, रात को जब खाना खाने निकलते हैं, वेयर डू दे पार्टी, व्हाट आर द इनकी गैदरिंग्स कैसी होती हैं, जो पॉलिटिक्स के अलावा है वो पूरा सब सर्सी के किंग्स लैंडिंग के उसके पर्सपेक्टिव था और उनके राजाओं के लैनिस्टर्स के पर्सपेक्टिव से. आई वुड हैव लव टू नो अबाउट द पीपल हु लिव्ड इन किंग्स लैंडिंग, उनके बारे में अगर कुछ पता चलता था.
Yeah, there was no foray only into like what regular, except for when Hound and these guys go into like a tavern and kill everybody or some shit.
Yeah, जब या तो ब्रॉदल दिखाते थे या फिर दिखाते थे जब कोई ऐसे अपराइजिंग या जब कोई मर रहा होता है तब दिखाते थे.
Right.
Which is why eventually when Daenerys kills everyone in King's Landing, you don't feel anything.
Yeah.
And it's like हाँ ठीक है CGI लोग भाग रहे हैं कुछ तो हो रहा है.
अरे वो
That ending, man, I will never. I remember election का season था, real life election का. अपना मतलब Game of Thrones चल रहा था यहाँ पे तो like I remember I woke up, went to vote, came back, saw the episode, and I think that was the day of the final episode. Mumbai में जिस दिन vote
26 अरे मेरे को याद है
And
अपने
yeah, it was a
इलेक्शन के
Monday, yes.
मोदी जी
हाँ.
प्राइम
Yeah.
मिनिस्टर बने थे 24th में या 26th मई को जब इलेक्शन
हाँ.
रिजल्ट्स आया था ये मेरे को याद है बिकॉज
हाँ.
फॉर सम स्टूपिड
No,
I remember
the
in-
election Mumbai. Yeah, was sorry, go on.
I was saying हमने ऑफिस में like the last 2 episodes we had missed watching the battle of winter battle वाला जो था and this one. So like यार last day पे सारा दोनों back to back देखेंगे. So we all of us had like huddled around one Mac and we were trying to watch. After like around midway like कि हाँ ठीक है फोन वोन चल रहा है तो लैपटॉप पे एक्सेल कर रहा है. Everyone gave up.
Yeah, dude. I remember I watched it in the morning and just release of final episode. I started watching. I'm like, okay. And after the episode ended, I just switched to the news because the election was. I was like, okay, okay. Like that was the reaction to a show that like.
And
the
it's
entire
that show
world was watching.
it's
Yeah.
that show which gave us the red wedding चलो बुक से भी दी but the execution of red wedding was so perfect मतलब उसके closest मेरे लिए लिली ऑफ द वैली फ्रॉम ब्रेकिंग बैड आता है जो जो मेरे लिए दो सबसे ग्रेटेस्ट ओफक मोमेंट्स है रेड वेडिंग एंड लिली ऑफ द वैली ओह मैन
To me, Sopranos' last episode, the final shot, is the biggest so fuck moment of TV history. But anyway,
नाइस
for anyone who cares.
तो आदित्य आज ज्यादा लोग हैं ना हमारे सोप्रानोज वाले से सोप्रानोज में
हाँ 40 यार सोप्रानो ज्यादा लोग देखा नहीं उतनी वो सुनने की क्षमता नहीं है लोगों में प्रेजेंट में
Fuck Sopranos.
बट या वाओ अटैक
काफी अटैक यू
भाई ऑलरेडी क्विज में हरा दिया यार अभी और जलील नहीं होना मुझे
okay any other questions guys if
हाँ,
you have
सत्यार्थ सिंह ने पूछा है any of you have read the books and what's your opinion on the books? So I think Aditya.
I've read the first book, dude. I've only read the first book. I think it's a page turner. I did not read much further because, as I said, the first book was exactly the same as the show, like the first season. It was literally almost. I felt like ये तो screenplay है. Like it almost felt like that, barring a few things obviously because it's a book. So but I think George R. Martin is obviously a brilliant writer, and if you don't want to read Game of Thrones, I would recommend reading Dune because I'm currently reading Dune, and Dune feels like almost like a better version because clearly Dune was written in the 60s, so clearly Martin is inspired at some level by, I'm guessing, by Frank Herbert also. So yeah, I think it's a very good book. It sets up a world very well. It's easy to understand in terms of fantasy. It does not complicate much, and it's a page turner. I didn't have any special feelings, but yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Would you guys want to
what
see a
else?
Khal Drogo का spin-off or
No.
It's a very generic
It's
arc.
just Genghis Khan.
कार्ल ड्रोगो का भी वैसे ही होगा कि हाँ इसको बहुत जलील किया जाता था बचपन में then he became like the बाहुबली he defeated in the tribe सब आके उसको ये कर रहे थे then he married ऐसे ही कुछ होगा story.
yeah eventually
Sorry.
yeah sorry go ahead.
Sorry, someone has asked Satyarth Singh has asked what are my favorite rock bands and his name में ये निर्वाणा देख के पूछ रहे हो क्या तुम लोग? नहीं, yeah, I guess Nirvana is my favorite, I guess, of all time. पर ठीक है. I don't know why rock bands कहाँ से आ गए बीच में.
टुडे अरे यार चिन्मय ने जो एक कमेंट किया उसमें मेरे को एक पूरा बहुत लंबा सा एक आर्टिकल लिखना है
Oh yeah, this Chinmay has the
या
best
बिकॉज
comment.
आज जो हुआ है डेविड लिंच के यूनिवर्स में लाइक इट वाज अ बिग डे बिकॉज लाइक वो बहुत अलग डिस्कशन है सो लेट्स नॉट गो देयर
हाँ.
दे शुड राइट एन एंटायर सीरीज फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ वाइट वॉकर्स भाई मैं तो ना देखूं आप लोग देखना मजे करना कभी नहीं आऊंगा वो
already कह चुका है. Somebody says, and I want to bring this up. You brought up time travel and didn't mention Dark. It plays with the idea of plot structure and character growth.
like a lot of people took a dig on you when you said the time travel thing in college.
Yeah, I absolutely hated Dark. And in the next episode of this content podcast, you've actually spoken about this. So tune in a couple of days when that episode is out. Anyway,
Oh,
but
Dark you didn't. I haven't
somebody
seen Dark. I haven't.
somebody else has said, somebody else, which I agree with, Pratik Agarwal has said, Dark is if Ekta Kapoor makes a time travel serial,
Oh,
which I completely agree with.
Hey, if Ekta
Okay.
Kapoor made a time travel serial, I would watch it.
I'm pretty sure Ekta Kapoor has already done time travel in like
She has,
several
she has.
shows. Yeah.
She has.
yeah. Mihir Virani OP guys.
Yes.
Mihir Virani.
There questions other than खाली comments ही.
Vaibhav,
Yeah.
I think it's time for the Twitter thread. एक
Yeah.
बार वो खोल सकते हैं.
Yeah.
Which Twitter thread?
So just for context, this is basically after the season got released and everything. At Comic Con, at one of the Comic Cons in the US, Benioff and Weiss, they were doing a panel, and one of someone basically live tweeted the entire event, and you can basically now understand why they made the choices they made. So here we are in this Twitter thread.
You want to take it from here and all? आप थोड़ा इसको कर लो. हाँ.
ठीक है तो ये basically Austin Film Festival का.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah, there was an audio of it, I think. हाँ.
हाँ इस पे काफी एनालिसिस हुआ है. हाँ स्क्रॉल अप. तो यहाँ पे फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है कि did they go online, and David says yes. The unlet views said we were geographically challenged and the maps were helpful. ये I think वो है locations जैसा था. हाँ. David also saying that they went to fan casting pages and that is how they found Jason Momoa. So basically the question that we were thinking ki, as someone I think Aditya said कि they started listening to the fans. ये आपको यहाँ पे clearly दिख रहा है fan casting pages.
Hey, even the next tweet is like Dan is saying that writers in source material ended up in divorce and that their divorce was amicable since they ran out of material. This basically confirmed all theories. ये आइडिया ही खत्म हो गया भाई. जॉर्ज आर कुछ तो थे. Basically that was the situation, I guess.
Yeah.
Having them.
Yeah. Kange. Oh, sorry.
हाँ,
I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
You know, describing their pitch and how nervous they were. They pitched to Carolyn Strauss, who was they were nervous because of okay, ठीक है, understandable, underdog. फिर आता है David is describing pre-meeting with George R.R. Martin. Didn't really have any. We had never done TV.
Yeah.
We didn't know why he trusted us with his life's work.
This is the biggest scam to ever happen in the entertainment industry. Two dudes just come up with need for a book बनाने की है, गलती से मिल गया and fucked it up in the end.
Oh shit. They're talking about the pilot and their friends who they let watch their first attempt at a pilot. One of them was Craig who wrote Chernobyl, who is the creator of Chernobyl. Yes. He acknowledged that the first pilot was basic writing mistake.
First pilot, sure.
जोश बाद में उन्होंने चेंज कर दिया होगा, I'm assuming, right?
Everything we could make a mistake in, we did. Wow. This is like Kohli yesterday, no? When we said कि हाँ यार कैच नहीं पकड़ पाया और बैटिंग नहीं हुई तो हाँ sorry. And then he walked up.
They think HBO went forward because they had a lot of foreign pre-sales on the series. Dan is saying that Game of Thrones was basically an expensive film school for E&D. यार ये तो this is the worst thing you can. For example, they had no idea how to work with costume designers and it was a huge learning. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
2 months before the pilot was to air, the episode was averaging 39 minutes and HBO made them write a film 100 क्या है?
How did they even last like 3 seasons? Like, well, I don't understand.
No, I am questioning how did they still direct the Red Wedding episode because it's solid filmmaking. मेरे को वो जानना है. वो कैसे इन्होंने पहले 3 सीजन कैसे?
Maybe the writing is just beautiful. The writing is too good.
No, but उसकी execution भी perfect है यार. मतलब वो it's too perfect, yeah. The moderator is asking them about comments acknowledging they didn't understand the characters and the extra minutes helped them understand the characters better. Dan is saying that he let the characters redefine the roles, especially Macy Williams, and they began writing for actors. It is like actors moved into the house and redecorated. He said he learned about the characters from the actors. The moderators asked why they chose to write all the episodes by themselves because we did not know better. David said HBO wanted them to hire other writers and they decided to have Brian so-and-so, their assistant, with four episodes. डूड ये तो मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है कोई ऐसे एडवर्ड स्नोडेन ने ना कहीं से कुछ ऐसे रिलीज कर दिया. डूड ये तो काफी ऐसे वो है. Dan wanted to remove as many fantasy elements as possible because we didn't want to appeal it to that type of fan.
They wanted their fan base to be mothers and NFL players.
I can't do it.
Amazing. Okay.
Okay.
Reading this, you know what? Reading this kind of meta, because reading this feels like watching the last season of Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice.
And this is better.
Yeah.
She's asking about the violence. David, to be honest, we went too far with some of those.
Fair enough.
हाँ मतलब वो जैसे ग्रेजॉय वगैरह का था वो इसकी बात कर रहा हूँ. He comments on the jousting scene with the mountain and how they went, how when they killed Sir Hugh, that it was in the scene too long. He compares it to Ozark's Jason toenail being ripped out. Okay. What did you learn from that? You made 30 feature films on 8 years, which is more than anyone out there than Woody Allen. She's asking about the Battle of Bastards. They used every season as a learning experience. The CGI of dragons was particularly challenging. They said by season 4 that Miguel was doing night shoots. They had decided no one would miss them if they backed away. Battles of Winterfell took 10 straight weeks. Okay. Why did the battles get better? We kept our crew together. Okay.
Credit where it's due, they actually got their crew.
Yeah.
I still think we were a bit too. We basically cancelled D&D. So we went to.
No, I mean they did do. I mean again the topic of the day is talking about what went wrong. So जब what went right की बात करें तो we compliment भी कर देंगे. But I mean they did give 3 to 4 solid seasons of TV. So that way it is good.
इसमें और कोई है क्या particular, because it's very long. 41 more.
41 more replies.
So I think it's enough for now. But yeah, like this tells us the headspace they were in very rightly. क्या अच्छा. तो मतलब वो वही है कि दो ऐसे कॉलेज NYU के ग्रेजुएट्स को प्रोजेक्ट मिल गया. HBO वालों ने किया. अच्छा तुमने किताब. हाँ सर मैंने 5 बार पढ़ी. अच्छा आर्या मेरी फेवरेट है. अच्छा जाओ बनाओ. कोई ऐसे कुछ तो कॉन्टैक्ट निकल गया and they went ahead and made it. But I still like say कि चलो I don't know, ये कुछ और भी बना रहे हैं. I think they are up to something very interesting.
They were supposed to make I think a Civil War, American Civil War पे कुछ तो एक
वो तो शायद पुराना था. अब वो कुछ और बना रहे हैं शायद.
एक वो था फिर then they were supposed to Star Wars से निकाल दिए गए.
उसके बाद एक और है कुछ और है.
It's एक सेकंड मैंने खोल के रखा है. इसका नाम है Remembrance of Earth's Past. It's basically a series called The Three Body Problem. तो ये एक Chinese book series है which is translated into English. There are 3 novels, so they are adapting this for Netflix.
Okay. कुछ ना कुछ तो मिल ही जाएगा यार. काम तो मिलेगा इनको. नहीं
काम तो मिलेगा. Fans will be too harsh on them.
Yeah. लोग
इनका वैसे वो
टमाटो पहले दिन में 1 स्टार हो जाएंगे.
इनके साथ पूरा सड़क 2 होगा गाइस. देख लेना.
नहीं इनका वो करेंगे घोस्ट राइटिंग की. मतलब ये लोग लिख देंगे and then they'll put like someone else's name. जैसे वो था ना कि कोएन ब्रदर्स एडिट करते हैं फिर वो किसी और का नाम डाल देते हैं. कुछ होगा. हाँ
फिर बाद में रिवील करे चल जाए. Oh by the way, that will be a good marketing technique by the way. They just make something and then they just say, oh guys, now that you like it.
ऐसे JK Rowling ने किया था ना कि like she wanted to break away from the Harry Potter image. So उसने रॉबर्ट गैलब्रेथ करके बोला. तो जब बुक चली नहीं तो बोला हाँ भाई मैं तो हूँ. पता नहीं चला.
Abhinav is here guys. Abhinav, what's up Abhinav?
Alan Smithy lynched Dune. Yes, David Lynch wanted to disown Dune, so he.
Someone's asking, may I ask what do you guys do for a living? I think they think that हम लोग खाली इधर आके बच्चों भी करते हैं तो.
ये आता है time to time एक comment आता है. हाँ. Let's get back to GOT की जो discussion कर रहे हैं. D&D is GOT guys. जिन्हें नहीं पता, again David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are the creators of the show. Yeah.
Hey, someone has asked to do a discussion on Twin Peaks. So
I haven't watched it.
Dude, you must. Yeah, you must watch Twin Peaks.
मेरा भी leftovers चल रहा है. So उसके बाद देखते क्या उठाना है.
वो देखना है.
Yeah.
Hindol, have you seen Twin Peaks?
I haven't seen Twin Peaks, and especially in the current scenario where you can't access a lot of substances,
Oh
it's
yeah, of course.
Substances?
It's a
I
problem.
won't be able to
Yeah.
understand the show to its
Okay.
fullest extent.
Yeah, that's true. You need some
Yeah,
really good.
that's the problem with David Lynch. कि like आपको
Kangana
internet
has
भी चाहिए
entered. Navita has entered the chat, guys.
Navita has entered the room somehow. Yeah. भाई अभी हम लोग मजाक कर रहे हैं 20 साल बाद में वैभव का जब चैनल 4 मिलियन पे होगा ना तो उसकी ये सब चीज उठा के बोले ये देखो क्या
यही चीजें कैंसिल करेंगे और मैं अपॉलॉजी वीडियो बना रहा हूँ गाइस. So
वो उसका उपमन्यु का वो नहीं है कि यही तो बातें याद आएगी.
and as it is लोग बोलते रहते हैं कि Vaibhav talks a lot about cancer people and Louis CK के shows recommend करता है. ठीक है ना उनके बारे में बात करते हैं.
Thanks for that. Thanks for putting the spotlight on that.
Hindol, we should do one live where we're going to talk about something. We just talk about Vaibhav's this thing on cancer. We keep trying to bait him into that conversation.
And आदित्य के साथ तो मैं सोच रहा था हॉरेस एंड पीट पे अगला करें एक्सट्रीम अगेन अ शो बाय लुई सीके. So I have become quite unapologetic about liking his work, dude. Like I just can't help it. It's so good. It's so good. I just can't help. Yeah. कुछ कह रहे हो आदित्य? आपका वीडियो अटक गया. Aditya is stuck. Guys, I haven't done it. वैसे not that कि cancel
Guys,
कर
this is how free speech is being curbed on this call.
Aditya, we lost you. Yeah, what were you saying?
अब बस मेरा ऑफिस का बुलडोजर ना बाकी है. बस वही बाकी है लाइफ में. But yeah, dude, let's do Horace and Pete. I don't mind either. I mean, yeah, I will मेरी थोड़ी फटेगी 1 घंटे के लिए, but चलेगा, सह लेंगे थोड़ा सा.
Okay, guys, और बताओ यार किस का तुम देखना चाहोगे स्ट्रीम कमेंट्स में बता दो एंड लाइक वी विल डेफिनेटली डू अ स्ट्रीम ऑन देम. और कोई इंटरेस्टिंग कमेंट्स है क्या? आई एम सो स्केयर्ड.
Shah says, हाँ, same comment pattern.
I am so scared of the 3 body problem. It's brilliant series and deserves better. How is it brilliant? आ गई क्या? अच्छा, the
It's
books,
a book
the
series,
books.
na?
Okay.
Oh.
I am not sure if you should judge them somehow. Abhi, let's give them एक बार दो because it's also a fresh start for them. They know what all they have lost. और मेरे को लगता है कि वो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ.
Abhinav is talking about Abhinav Chaudhary is talking about Atlanta. Atlanta is great.
Yeah.
And he's also saying Watchmen. Watchmen यार मैंने कहीं पहले few episodes देखे and I liked it but I just didn't watch the rest for some reason.
By the way, guys,
movie.
एक लाइक थोड़ा सा सेगवे बट लाइक डेविड बेनियोफ की ना मैं पहले बहुत तारीफ करता था बिकॉज ही हैज एक्चुअली रिटन अ फिल्म दैट आई लाइक अ लॉट. इट्स आई माइट बी रॉन्ग बट गलत याद हो सकता है बट मैंने इस पे एक चलचित्र एपिसोड भी किया था. अ स्पाइक ली फिल्म कॉल्ड 25th Hour.
That's a great movie.
It's written by David Benioff.
Seriously?
Yeah, एक बार चेक कर लो guys, कल को आके बोलोगे but I'm pretty sure it's David Benioff because I did a episode on it like a long time back. I love that film.
Reading up a bit on David Benioff, he's also written like Wolverine.
He has also written the Kite Runner ka screenplay of the movie.
Yeah, he has written the 25th Hour.
He has written, na?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. मतलब मेरे को पता नहीं है वो एक
क्रेड तो है I guess.
क्रेड है और What if it's also a strategy कि जब शो फ्लॉप हो गया उसके बाद बोल दो हमें तो कुछ आता ही नहीं था हम तो.
Also, yeah, you're right actually. You're being too harsh. I mean, think about it. They had a show in their hands, which was like it was way bigger than even Breaking Bad at its peak, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was watching it. I know people who otherwise wouldn't watch English TV shows necessarily. And they were watching it. Like everybody was obsessed with it. So that was like insane amounts of pressure.
And it was an extreme show, bro. मतलब अगर आप उसकी violence वाले scenes देखो तो normal लोग जो देख रहे हैं जितना accessible बन गया था. Again, like वो तो काफी.
Plus they ran out of source material. That's also being handicapped.
No, but even the violence and gore and everything, that is what made the show accessible. मतलब वही था ना जैसे वो था अपना again TVF video reference आधा 24 में first episode में spoiler for anyone who's not watched आधा 24 उसमें होता है ना कि वो जो nerd होता है उसको Game of Thrones दिखा देता है and then he forgets
और अरे उनकी जो पूरी plot ही होता है I think last में वो HBO की आवाज आती है slow motion. Oh nice.
That's what got people addicted, like the kind of sex and violence that was there.
हाँ, और बताना गाइस यार, कैंसिल कल्चर पे एक स्ट्रीम करना हो, मैं इस लेवल पे आ गया, मैं कर लूंगा यार अब तो। आई हर्ड दिस अगेन, लाइक करेंगे यार, अनुराग कश्यप के साथ भी पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं यार, लाइक व्हाट डू यू गाइस थिंक, कुछ लाइक डू यू वांट टू या कमेंट ऑन इट गाइस? अब हम ऐसी बातें कर रहे हैं, अच्छा एकदम से 45 लोग हो गए। मैं हमेशा ही होता है जस्ट व्हेन आई एम अबाउट टू लाइक
get into the twilight zone.
Yeah, any comments on the Anurag Kashyap like thing that is happening?
I would like to read comments now.
कुछ हिडोल आप बोल।
I think GOT kind of became like Stephen King endings too. The show was built up to such a spectacular extent.
Abhinav is like fuck yes, let's talk about Anurag Kashyap. वो बैठा है ना आज कमेंट्स में, उसको मजा आ रहा है। तो
No, but
any word?
yeah, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous to me at least. I'm not, I'm pretty anti-right wing. I'm not necessarily very pro. I think काफी post में थोड़ा fuck all statement है, but I think we're in post-ideological age because everything is dictated by whatever is happening that day. So it's just about, like, I actually like what Dave Chappelle said about this. How can you care about anything if the rocket is blowing up every day for you? You know, if every day is like, aaj hi ho gaya, aaj hi ho gaya, aaj hi ho gaya. So it's just part of that, and it's clearly ridiculous. It's clearly like a pushback to whatever he was doing, in my view at least. If there is something, they will investigate, I guess. So,
हाँ,
yeah.
but वही है, मतलब काफी मतलब लाइक अगर क्रोनोलॉजी देखो अगर आप, it's very shitty what's happening, and
yeah, I don't think social media is the place for deciding and like placing a verdict.
ये तो तुम काफी डिप्लोमेटिक आंसर्स दे रहे हो, चलो थोड़ा मैं
in general because
मैं जैसे मेरे को बस ये लग रहा है कि जैसे इतने लोग कैंसिल हो रहे हैं ना, तो इन अ वे मतलब it's like everyone is हाँ exactly diminishing marginal वो utility वाली चीज हो रही है। अब तुम सबको ही कैंसिल कर दोगे, रोज एक सेलेब का नाम ट्रेंड कर रहा होगा, people will actually stop giving a fuck about it. So basically it will make people immune to becoming cancelled.
But you know, the other thing is, it only happens to people on the left. It does not happen to people because the right doesn't care, right? It happens to.
Okay, we again I did not do it.
Guys, let's come back to Game of Thrones.
The moment, oh shit, he has actually gone.
People who are of a certain ideology.
Aditya, you went away. Okay, yeah.
No, I'm telling you, this is some crazy. I don't know, but I did not know.
अभी वो मीम्स याद आ गए, वो FBI एजेंट्स ने अपने कॉफी के कप साइड में रखे, guys, this is the moment.
No, but what I was saying was, it only happens to certain ideology because only anybody who's against the right or somewhere falls in the huge gamut of left or liberal or libertarian, whatever. It only happens because only they care about what these platforms think of them. And increasingly, we're realizing that people don't care about what other people think of them anyway. So I think it's just about that. It's just, I really feel it's a big phase. And as you said, diminishing margin को eventually, if you can cancel, that's like that thing. Somebody very famous had said this: if everything is racist, then nothing is racist. If everything is sexist, then nothing is sexist. Because I mean, you have to have you can't say my like bottom line is where I start off. Your bottom line can never be where you start off. It has to be somewhere where you talk to people.
और मेरे को ये लग रहा है कि अनुराग कश्यप is pretty immune to what has happened. He is handling it well, and like मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि मतलब वो ये झेल लेगा जो भी everything that is coming his way जो भी है.
I think it's over. I think for him, again, that's what I was saying. Anurag Kashyap will not be affected by this because the people who are doing this, there are people who he is against. This only works when people who you like or people who are your people cancel you, because then you have nobody.
This reminds me.
Has everybody with him.
This reminds me of something of very like a person I like respect a lot said to me. You can, or like people can only cancel you if you want to get cancelled. If you don't want to get cancelled, na, then you can't get cancelled. मतलब अगर आपको है कि नहीं मेरे को लगे रहना है तो आप नहीं कैंसिल हो सकते, क्योंकि बहुत एंटाइटलमेंट वाली चीज आती है, वर्चुअल सिग्नलिंग वाली आ जाती है. अच्छा मेरे पे कुछ आया, let's like
I mean, look at what is happening to Riya Chakraborty or like Deepika Padukone. It's just an extreme version of that, right?
Deepika is also not extreme enough, but like
that is what happens if cancel culture wasn't just a weapon of the liberals. Okay, because everything is watered down, and I'm a liberal, I'm just saying, but like when cancel culture is used by the mass, which is not necessarily left, then it becomes a much dirtier game, which we are seeing now, right? Hindol has a very mysterious smile on his face. I would like to know what he thinks.
Hindol, what's your opinion of?
I was like गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स में क्या होता है तो लास्ट सीजन था
भाई, बोल दे चल
उसके बारे में बात.
अरे खुल जाओ यार, रात के 12 बजे अपनी अच्छी ऑडियंस होती है, कुछ नहीं करेंगे, ज्यादा अनसब्सक्राइब कर देंगे, चिल हो गए ये.
See, as we know, social media is not the place to have opinions at all if you are sensible enough. तो थोड़ा नहीं बात करते इस बारे में.
Fair, I guess, yeah. Yeah, now I'm getting scared. Like I don't want when he knows it, but I felt like a chill. You know, like
see, because we can obviously discuss it and everything.
इसलिए मैंने टच कर दिया जैसे आदित्य doesn't feel left alone कि हाँ कर दो यार cancel. मतलब I will soon make a video where I'll like publicly say cancel me. Because like once maybe when the channel hits 1 lakh subscribers, this is the time you should unsubscribe because we are not stopping after this.
Great way to bump your subscribers.
This is like something I'll be doing. Not just because कि कोई this is anti-virtue signaling. I'll tell this is what I have done. तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए तुमने किस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब किया, हम परफेक्ट लोग नहीं हैं. But anyway.
हाँ.
So the only thing is that people don't understand nuance and sarcasm. जैसे हमें लगता है ना कि intelligent humor काम नहीं करता है इंडिया में. It's like is the thing कि अगर आप दिखा दो कोई केले के छिलके गिर रहा है और उसको टोइंग डाल दो, लोग हंसते हैं. We are still in that time, so we can't expect people to like understand कि हाँ इसका ये nuance है. This is what it's his ironic behavior. जो भी है जैसे भी है. Is that people think. The point being, you could have said something in some spirit, but it can be misconstrued in a completely different way.
It's just a feature of the internet, and I'm not making a passing judgment on any group or anything about this, but and this has been spoken about a lot already, so I'm just echoing what people who are smarter than me have said, but with the influence social media, basically, if one guy was had like racist thoughts, okay, or somebody had like ultra progressive thoughts कि मैं तो यही यहाँ पर ही हूँ और my दादी जी is cancelled, like that. If somebody is at that level of progressiveness, wokeness essentially, right? Both extremes. Now those people who otherwise in real life nobody would take seriously, now they go onto the internet, and because it's disinhibition syndrome what the internet gives you, people realize, oh, I was racist, everyone around me told me I was racist, but there seem to be about another 10,000 people like me. Right.
See, we are in a post-truth and post-modern time. अगर एक बंदा बोलता है कि अर्थ फ्लैट है, 4 लोग आके और बोलते हैं अर्थ फ्लैट है, तो अर्थ फ्लैट है.
अरे गाइस, यहाँ पे मैं तुम्हें यहाँ पे एक चीज बताता हूँ. लाइक वी कैन कट दिस पार्ट आउट, बाद में स्ट्रीम को लाइव को भी छोटा कर सकते हैं. आज सुनील गावस्कर वाला तुम लोगों ने फॉलो किया जो हुआ है?
I was just down. Yeah.
So basically, जिस चीज के लिए अनुष्का ने सुनील, मतलब I might be wrong, but ये मैंने जो पार्ट में पढ़ा था ये था. पहले मैं ऐसे था कि अनुष्का लाइक सो ब्रेव, उसने ये लिखा क्योंकि मैंने जो लाइन पढ़ी थी, जो लाइन मैंने पढ़ी थी वो एक्चुअली वो लाइन बोली नहीं थी सुनील गावस्कर ने. सो द ट्वीट दैट वेंट वायरल की जिसने सुनील गावस्कर ने ये बोला है कि वो ये कर रहे हैं, लाइक वो ट्वीट पढ़ना, actually Sunil Gavaskar never said that. So if you listen to what he said, वहाँ पे भी debatable है कि should he have said that or not. But अनुष्का जिस वजह से trigger हुई, मेरे को जो लगता है he hadn't said that.
Yeah, but the reaction that she has had, it's not just to the comment, right?
नहीं, but like she addressed him particularly. But I actually like
but I think it's perfectly valid for Anushka Sharma to be pissed off.
Yeah, absolutely.
across the board they keep on bringing her in for no reason. Like I'm like shit on Virat Kohli, उसने क्या drop किया? Like I'm just
वो काफी shitty है, वो वही है कि like in cashing that like thing वो बहुत वो है. But I'm just saying कि वही misinformation वाली चीज है, क्योंकि वो इतना लगता है कि ये तो कर ही सकते हैं, तो हमने मान लिया कि shit ये हुआ है.
Essentially पता है क्या है situation actually. और मुझे थोड़ा स्कूल का याद आ रहा है. ठीक है, स्कूल में क्या होता था, लोगों की फाइट होती थी. बॉम्बे में वो टाइम पे नहीं चाइनीज नहीं, बॉम्बे में वो टाइम पे पता क्या होता था, मेरी बैक है मतलब मेरे पास 10 लोग हैं, मेरे पास 10 लोग हैं, पीपल वुड कम. ओके, दो लोगों की फाइट है, दो बंदों की फाइट है, यूजुअली ओवर अ गर्ल. And then 28 people from their side will show up. They will meet in a ground where they're like, okay, we'll all have like a gang war or whatever, सस्ता gang war. Then they're like, कि अच्छा these two people को साथ में बिठा दो और इनका कॉम्प्रो करा देते हैं. And then that would happen. They would each slap each other, or one would hit each other. Whoever the judge is in that community will decide कि नहीं, you will hit his balls or whatever. That shit would happen. And then
they saying
that is basically what happens on social media daily. What can be sorted out between 2 or 5 or 10 people sitting together in a room and hashing things out becomes a big matter because a million people have their opinions on it. उनको क्या ही फर्क पड़ रहा है? Free का. I really feel you should be charged for your tweets.
Yeah.
I feel. Yeah. Like पैसे दो और opinion दो, because people just fart out their opinions. I have a lot of strong feelings.
This is like a short film idea also. You can only 8 tweets ही आप कर सकते हो in 30 days. 30 days 8 tweets.
Yeah, free tweets are in a week only 10 tweets for free. उसके ऊपर only retweets and you cannot. You have to pay for premium. It's let's pitch this idea to D&D.
नहीं, उसके ये शॉर्ट फिल्म बनेगी ना, उसके बाद एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री आएगी called Why Did Twitter Fail? Why did people stop using Twitter?
आजकल हम क्रैक कर रहे हैं ना धीरे धीरे, क्योंकि आजकल स्ट्रीम्स चलचित्र के वर्क कर रहे हैं, तो हमें समझ आ गया कि जैसे कल एक नारुतो स्ट्रीम हो रहा है चलचित्र पे एनिमे का, सो वी आर फाइनली अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि तन्मय क्या करता है. तो हमारे 10 व्यूअर्स में बम्प आता है आजकल.
Our strategy is we wait for him to release a video, then you're like, आज इस पे वीडियो बनाते.
What is your strategy? मतलब हिंदोल, do you also have like a channel?
No, like our in general.
Right. But I was about to say something about something very good. Oh no, yeah. So social network completed 10 years, right? Right now, Little White Lies. This is relevant to the whole social media thing. Little White Lies said that social network is the greatest supervillain origin story of our era. Though I don't have as harsh of an opinion against social media companies, but anyway.
Yeah. So, अब on that note, guys, we can end the stream, and
please share the stream on your social media.
Yeah, please share the stream and
Twitter.
Please Facebook. Like the stream and do tell us in comments.
And to Vaibhav, please edit the stream accordingly according to the current political scenario.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
मतलब इसके बाद स्ट्रीम ना करनी पड़े कि where did the Game of Thrones go wrong, stream go wrong. बेटर हो जाएगा तो.
That looks good actually.
काफी सही. सही है. चलो
Abhinav brought up a topic and is now just enjoying this shit. Abhinav is responsible.
Yeah.
Abhinav told me to say whatever I said today.
Abhinav is like कि round 2 में देखेंगे इनको.
Abhinav क्विज में बदला लेगा.
Abhinav मत करना यार एडिट. ठीक है यार अभिनव, यू आर द लाइक तुम्हारी बात सुन लेते हैं. चलो यार अब लाइक खत्म करते हैं. कल किसका मैच आईपीएल का सडनली हम लाइक एनी अरे नहीं, कल बोरिंग है. हैदराबाद आई डोंट लाइक. मैं कब
फ्रॉम बंगाल
नहीं, मैं फॉलो नहीं करता. मुंबई का मैच होता मैं देख लेता हूँ.
सही है. चलो गाइस, वील टेक अ लीव. बाय.